when you look at the first two matches in Spain, are there specific or general things you'll be looking for the team to improve upon in Tuesday's contest?
Yeah, I think a little bit more control with and without the ball. So when we've got the ball, I think there's been some unforced errors and decision making that has then give the opponent the ball and therefore control. So I think making better decisions on the ball, playing in the right areas at the right times. And then without the ball, I'd be definitely looking at how we counter press and how we can win the ball back higher up with the right intensity. And I think that can improve. It was better from game one, but it needs to be even better in this game.
Thank you. Let's go to Har.
Thanks, Mari. Hi, Casey. Lovely to see you this morning.
And you.
I'm wondering, what have you seen from the squad? Because you've had a lot of rotation. You've had some young players get in and play. So what are you seeing from those younger players and all the players you're kind of intertwining into what you want to do out there?
I think coming in, I knew it wouldn't be perfect. Obviously, we're trying new ideas, new players. We've given debuts on this camp as well. So I think I knew it wouldn't be perfect, and that's what I've seen. But what I've seen is the players are adapting and trying things. It's about putting people in positions to be successful, and I think the more we can get the likes of Olivia on the ball and Mimi on the ball and get them in certain pockets playing forward and Jessie connecting the play, I think we'll have a real attacking threat. I think we've been clear that we've played with two centre forwards without. We'll do that again in the next game, and we want to obviously try and utilise those two centre forwards to create and score more goals. We need to get the ball into the key areas and then make better decisions in the final third.
Yes, talking about scoring more goals, it's always been a topic with Canada. What have you seen going forward? Are they creating enough chances? Is it finding the space, or what do they need to do there further?
I think sometimes we're finding the right spaces, but then it's possibly the wrong decision or the wrong execution of the final action that then denies us creating a chance. So what I've seen in training is there's some real attacking threat. We've got a lot of forwards that are capable of scoring goals. We've got to get them in the right areas. We've got to get the right service. So it's how we build the play and how we get in there. And we are obviously trying to play with more attackers up against their back line. We need to be better in transition moments so that we don't get exposed. But I think, like you say, it's that final action now, final decision that will enable us to score more goals.
And what are the plans for the national team after this window? Because there's a lot of windows coming up in the spring. I know Canadian fans are wanting to see this team on home soil. Is there anything planned coming up in the April window?
There is, and we are very hopeful we will be on home soil. I can't announce that just yet. Hopefully we will be able to very soon. We want to be on home soil. We want to bring the team home, play in front of the home crowd, and hopefully we'll do that in April.
Thanks, Casey. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go back to John.
Thanks, Marianne. Casey, from a tactical point of view, how would you assess Chinese Taipei? I mean, what are you expecting to see from them tomorrow?
Yeah, obviously they're a lower ranked team, so it's going to be very much about our professional and individual standards and the way we approach the game. They will, if we control the game the way we can and we use the ball, they're potentially going to be in their half a lot, and that's what we hope, is we maintain possession in their half. We're going to have to move the ball quick with quality. We're going to have to, use wide areas at times to open them up. I think they're reasonably organised, but there's lots of spaces that we can exploit. Not amazingly great at defending crosses, so that's something we're going to have to target tomorrow to score goals. We're going to have to be really disciplined in our approach to the game.
And, someone that you've used over the two games was Adriana Leon. I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts on, her transfer from Aston Villa to your old team, San Diego, and what maybe that means for her national team sort of career going forward.
Well, I think obviously she's gone to San Diego to play more, which for the national team is a good thing if she's getting consistent playing time and playing minutes. Obviously, the MWSL is a fast physical league, so that will be good for her. For me, it means that I live in San Diego. I get the opportunity to watch her closely and scout her games and make sure that I'm present. And it's a good opportunity for her for a change.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. James?
Thanks, Marianne. Hello, Casey.
Hi.
This is probably very premature, but I wanted to check on the progress of how the images are beginning to form in your mind in terms of a potential starting group or different relationships for different types of games or those game changers that'll come on off the bench. Do you have some thoughts on that, or are we not even at that stage yet?
I think I've got some initial thoughts, but this is week 1. We've probably had about 90 minutes in total during this window to actually train, so it's not an awful lot of time. This is about getting players playing time, seeing them in pressure situations, so I can make more informed decisions moving forward and review it off the back of camp.
Excellent. Yeah, that's totally fair. I thought I spotted some familiar faces on the touchline in terms of your coaching staff. I was wondering if you could give us a sense of who's with you, and Jesse on the men's side has opted for a bit of a rotating cast of assistants. Just wondering what your thoughts are on all that.
Yeah, I think I've kept quite a lot of original staff. I didn't want too much change in CANWNT. I think it was really important in terms of consistency. I was going to change quite a lot, so the staff didn't need to change. And obviously I brought in Martin Nash, who's supporting us as a Canadian coach in the setup, which I think is important. And he's come into camp to, lend some experience, an extra set of eyes and knowledge.
Thank you. Let's go to John.
Thanks, Marianne. Just to follow up on James's question, I'm just wondering if you've had any sort of conversations or if you've even met Jesse, and is there, I wonder if, I know it's a completely different situation, they're preparing for World Cup, but is there anything that you can sort of adopt of what he's trying to do with the men on the women's side?
Yeah, I've met Jesse. I've spent quite a bit of time with Jesse actually talking, football philosophy, principles, the way he's obviously got the men playing. He actually watched our game against China. We discussed that. He sent me through some clips in terms of the language and terminology they're using with the men. Some of it crosses over, some of it doesn't. Obviously, the women's team's 6th in the world, trying to aim to win a World Cup. So there's slight nuances in terms of what we're doing. But he's extremely supportive. We're very aligned in the way we want to work. We want to work together to make sure it's one nation in terms of our approach. There's just going to be slightly different ways that we work, but yeah, I think he's done an incredible job with the men's team, and there is definitely some crossover that we're working on.
Thank you. Let's go to James. James? Oh,
Can you hear me?
we got you now.
Okay, sorry about that. Casey, back here in CONCACAF, the U20s are in action. I'm just curious if you've had a chance to keep an eye on that. I'm pretty sure 1 or 2 of those players would have been on your radar for this, if not for CONCACAF duty.
Yeah, I've watched both games. It's disappointing that it's not a little more competitive for them in terms of preparing them, for the next stages of their career. But they've approached it really well with a lot of discipline. Obviously, the first game was a high-scoring game. There are players that I spoke to Cindy about possibly coming into this camp, and the decision was made that they would go to 20s for their development purposes. And obviously, I will work closely with Cindy in the future about who comes into seniors and who doesn't. And obviously, what is the right time for their development and right moments for them as individuals. But yeah, they've done a great job so far. Obviously, the next stages will be a lot more competitive.
Thanks.
Thank you. Let's go to Felipe.
Hey Casey, apologies if this question was asked earlier. I was a little late to the conference, but today we saw that Adriana Leon made a move to San Diego Wave. Just wanted to know your thoughts on it, given your history with San Diego, and also what you've seen from Adriana so far.
Obviously, yeah, I don't advise players on where they play. I support where they play. I think obviously it's a good move for Adriana, to go and get more playing time and consistent playing time in a league that's very competitive. For me, it's handy because I live in San Diego, so I'll be really local to go and watch her. So yeah, it's a good move for her, and I wish her well in a new chapter.